Yes. So today the structure of today's module will be based on financial statement analysis, and it has been presumed by me that all of you, because you are all commerce graduates and you have studied the accounting from right from plus one plus two to the graduation level. Some of the students may have not have studied at plus one plus two level, but in graduation level they have studied all these things. So I will be focusing on today's lecture on the basically regarding the topic of financial statement analysis. Financial statement analysis mean we'll be talking about, because there are various stakeholders who are interested in the financial statements. So I'll be asking you one by one first to list down such kind of stakeholders who are interested in the financial accounts of a concern or financial statements of a concern. So I would like to ask Mansi Puri, who is sitting before me. Then Ashley Kocher must be ready for that. So Mansi Puri will be just listing out those persons who are interested in the financial statements of any organization. Let's Mansi.
Sir, first is the investors
Absolutely right. First is the investors,
and the other employees also,
employees,
government,
investors. Apart from
government auditors,
auditors, auditors are
auditors.
interested on the audit of the financial statement. Okay, let us consider them also. Yes. So
Uh,
investors, auditors, employees, these are the three persons which has been told by Mansi. So
the
Manpreet, okay.
organization.
Okay, Ashley Kocher, roll number 41, I think.
So 39.
39. Okay.
Sir, organizations
तीन बेटे उन्होंने
like
बता
some
दिए, three
NGOs
persons he
or
has
state.
told. One is investor, another is employees, third are auditors. Anybody else?
So organizations, NGOs.
Organization itself and other organization also, NGOs. Okay.
Sir,
The
creditors.
company director.
Creditors,
Stake.
creditors, absolutely right. Creditors. Next. Yes, Manav. Roll number 11. Manav. A person who will not speak, I will presume that that person is not present in the class.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Manas. Apart from that, any other person who is interested in the financial statements of a concern?
Mm,
Because I would like to sum up now. Okay. So I will involve you in future also in the various discussions. So the point is there are a number of stakeholders who are interested in the financial statements of a concern, because it is not there that only internal users are there in the financial statements. There are external users also. So there are two kinds of users of accounting information, which is presented by you in the form of financial statements. One is internal users and second is external users. So as far as the internal users are concerned, that means your organization management itself first. Secondly, your employees itself, because they are interested in getting the bonuses or enhancement in the salaries. So they want to know the profit or loss of the concern. Thirdly, the owners or the shareholders who has invested in the concern and purchased the shares of this company or has given a capital and provided a capital to the company. So similarly, there are auditors also, there are so many other persons also which may be internal users. Second category of the users of financial statements are external users, the people who are outside the organization. They are not directly connected with the organization. They include prospective investors, the people who wish to buy the shares of this company, or people who wish to invest into the capital of the company or an organization. They are the prospective buyer. They have to take a decision. Similarly, the government may be interested because you have to file the income tax return, or you have to file the GST return, or you have to file the returns of various purposes for different taxes. So government is also interested. So similarly, the prospective debenture holders who wish to buy or wish to provide loan to the company, maybe banks, maybe financial institutions. So all are interested in the financial statements of an organization. So here it means, because the financial statements are not only used by the internal users, it is also used by the external users. So therefore, it is the responsibility of the management of the concern that firstly, they should prepare the financial statements in an organized manner. When I say organized manners, it means as per the standards which are in practice in the industry. And if they are corporate concerns, they should prepare the financial statements as per the requirements of different standards which are prescribed by the accounting bodies. So hence, this part is related with the preparation of the financial statement, which we have already discussed, which we have already studied. Now, the various stakeholders, the various people who are interested in the financial affairs of the company, they need various kind of information, because on the basis of various kinds of information, they have to take many decisions. So naturally, the information which is provided in the statement of income, that is, you may call it trading profit and loss account, or statement of financial position, you may call it balance sheet. The information which is available in these financial statements may not be in the form which is required for analysis purpose. So therefore, because sometimes we need comparative information, sometimes we need information in relation to totality of the organization, that is common size statement. Sometimes we want to relate the one figure of the balance sheet with another figure. We want to relate the one figure of the profit and loss account with another figure of the balance sheets. So there may be different kind of requirements of the users of the financial accounting to take their decisions. So it is very important that some kind of tools, some kind of methodology should be available to us, so that we can interpret. First, we analyze the financial statements, and then we interpret the financial statements and take the major decisions of the concern. So this is the basic requirement of any users of the financial statements. So in this structured lecture, which we have, I have structured for you particularly, because the majority of our syllabus, the major part of our syllabus is focused on analysis of the financial statements. So in this lecture, we will be studying introduction and meaning of the financial analysis. We'll be talking about objectives of such kind of financial analysis. We'll be talking about various tools of the financial analysis, and then what are the various categories of statements, maybe in the form of comparative statements, maybe in the form of common size statements, that we will be preparing. So to have a clear understanding of the profitability, which is presented in the income statement, but that is not complete, or to understand the financial position of a concern, the data provided in the financial statement should be methodologically classified and should be compared with the free figures of either previous year or the figures of some other firms or the figures of one statement with the figures of another statement, so that the significance of figures are established. So such a comparative study would lead us to various kinds of other questions which may be raised, the answer for which we have to brought out by further and deep analysis. So further and deep analysis will be only possible when we use certain tools, when we prepare certain statements and arrive at a conclusion that what is the profitability of this concern, what is the financial position of this concern. So we may work out the figure of income statement of two firms and compare them. We may work out arranging the data of cost and revenues in some fashion, and we may work out to find out the income as compared to the capital employed. We may compare the results. So on the basis of that, these all questions, that what is the profitability of the concern, what is the profitability of the concern in relation to the sales, what is the profitability of the concern in relation to the capital employed, if you are issuing the debentures, what is the debt servicing ratio, how you are meeting the requirements of the banks in terms of interest coverage ratio, in terms of servicing of the debts of the banks. These are the various questions which may arise, and in order to answer these questions, we use the various tools, and that is called a financial analysis. Now, the question before all of us may arise, what is the objective of this financial analysis? Because I have already discussed with you, there are different parties, there are different stakeholders from their respective point of view, the attitude, their attitude or their requirements from taking various financial decisions is very different. So basically the objective of financial statement analysis may also be broadly classified on the basis of the persons who are interested in the analysis. So one is external and another is internal. As I have already told you, that there are two kinds of users of the financial information. One is external users and another is internal users. So these two kinds of external and internal analysis are made. So external analyst usually has to rely on the published information. Whatever information you will give in the financial statements, in trading profit and loss account or balance sheet, or in the published reports in the form of annual reports, or the published figures which may come in the newspaper or in the industry analysis, they will be focusing on that and they will be relying on that. Second is internal analysis. An internal analyst would really know the full story behind, because if I am an accountant, if I am a part of the organization, I know the full story behind each and every figure of the financial statement. So he would also get further supplementary information to properly assess the significance of these figures. Because if I say I want to know my profitability of this concern, this only figure will not be relevant if I compare it either with the previous year's figure or with the figures of the industry or the figures of the other concerns. Only then so I will be able to find out the real worth of these figures. Otherwise, the single figure which is available in the form of your financial statements may not be relevant. So this is the two kind of point of view. That means objectives from the external point of view will be different, and the objective from the internal point of view will be different. Basically, when I talk about the financial analysis, it is an arrangement of the figures which are either presented by you in the form of financial statements, or in the financial statements of the previous year, or in the financial statements of the other concerns, or the industry data which is published in the area in which you are working as industry person. So it provide, whenever this analysis will be ready, it will provide the information in the easily and understandable manner, and appropriate figures will be arranged. So this is the basic crux of the financial analysis. Now I will be just moving towards the various kinds of tools of analysis. What kind of tools are available? So firstly, you have the available information that you have the income statement, that is trading profit and loss account. Current year figures are also available. The last year figures are also available. Similarly, you have the balance sheet, that is the statement of the financial position. Along with that, you have certain industry figure which are published in various journals. Similarly, you have the industry figure which compares the figures of the various kinds of concerns which are working in your area of domain. So there are various kinds of tools of financial analysis which we'll be using for analysis and interpretation purpose. First is comparative statements. Comparative statement mean we will be preparing the comparative income statement, comparative balance sheet. Secondly, we have the common size statement. That means that as far as the comparative statements are concerned, they are horizontal analysis. That means the same concern, different years figures are compared. Common size statement, only 1 year figures are compared with the other figures. For example, in income statement, we may take sales as a point of view, as a base, and all the figures relating to other domains of trading in profit and loss account and balance sheet will be calculated in terms of the sales. So that is the vertical analysis, that is common size statement. So first we have the comparative statement. Second, we have common size statement. Thirdly, because over the year different figures may have changed, we may have trend analysis. So we may prepare a trend analysis, certain charts, figures, tables may be drawn to arrive at certain conclusion. Fourthly, we may have average analysis. Fifthly, we may find out the changes in the working capital, and as a part of the financial statement and as a part of the requirements of the International Financial Reporting Standard as well as IND-AS, now we prepare the statement of the cash flow also. That is also one tool to analyze the cash position of the concern. Similarly, we have the ratio analysis. So all these kind of figures are available. So first let me go on the comparative statements or the common size statements which we prepare. So let us see the one format of comparative statement. I will be sharing with you the figure of this comparative statement. So let me go to that figure. Let me share with you my screen, so which is available. So on screen, you can see the specimen of the comparative balance sheet first. Comparative statements are just nothing. They compares the figures of current year with the figures of the previous year. So this is one thing which is done in the comparative balance sheet. So in comparative statement, we will prepare the two statements. One is comparative income statement and second is comparative balance sheet. So in this format, first we have one particular column in which we will write the assets and liabilities. Second column is for previous year figures, like in this example 1980s figures has been given, and similarly we'll be having the current year figure. In this 1981 figures has been given. So in relate to that, we will find out the increase or decrease in first amount, and then we will find the increase or decrease in percentage, and what is the rate at which this has been increased. So first you have the current assets. For example, in 1980 the figure was 240, and in 1981 the figure is 80. So there is a minus 160 decrease. So we will find out the 160 in relation to the 240, what amount of percentage is there. So in this way, we'll be finding out the percentage of change, that means increase or decrease. Similarly, cash, debtors, merchandise inventory, prepaid expenses, total current assets, all these percentage of rates will be find out. Similarly, fixed assets, land and building, depreciation, furniture and fixture, plant and machinery, and total assets change is find out in terms of percentage as well as in terms of totality. So similarly from the liability side. So in this way, we prepare the comparative balance sheet or the comparative statement of financial position. It is just nothing. We take the current year figure, we compare it with the previous figure, plus minus is find out, and the percentage change is find out. So this is what the format of comparative statement of financial position is there. Similarly, we prepare the comparative income statement in this way also. So because the comparative income statement is prepared in the vertical format, that means it is not prepared in the horizontal format that we have the debit side of trading profit and loss account and balance sheet and credit side. So it is prepared in the format of vertical. So here also one we have the particular column, then previous year figures, current year figures, similarly increase, decrease is find out, and the percentage increase, decrease, plus minus is find out. So because when we prepare the financial income statement in the format of that is called verticals, so we take the figures first, net sales, then less cost of goods sold, then gross profit is find out, then operating expenses, selling expenses, general administration expenses, total expenses, operating expenses, operating profit is find out. Similarly, some other incomes if are there, they are added. Other deductions, for example, interest paid, income tax, net profit after taxes find out. So this is a format of comparative income statement. We do nothing. We just find out the plus minus, and then accordingly percentage is calculated. So this is the format of the income statement. So this is one thing which I would like to discuss with you. So comparative income statements are basically the statements which compares the figures of the 2 years, current year with the previous year. So in this way, we'll be able to find out that what kind of increase plus or minus is there and what is the percentage increase or decrease. So this comparative income statement or comparative balance sheet will help the various users of the accounting information to arrive at some kind of conclusions, so that is beneficial for them. So now next kind of the statement is a common size statement. So common size statement, as I have already told you, this is a vertical analysis. So in this common size statement, the sales figure is taken as 100 and all other figures of cost and expenses are expressed in percentage of sales in the income statement. So similarly, when we prepare the common size balance sheet or the common size statement of financial position, the total of asset side or the liability side is taken as 100 and all figures of assets and liabilities and reserves are expressed as a proportion to the total, that is 100 value. So in this way, we prepare the, let's discuss the specimen of this our statement of compare in the format of the common size statement. Let's discuss. Let me share my screen with you again. So this is the format of common size statement for the year. As I have already told you that you have to take the sales figure as a base, and accordingly we will prepare the other figures. For example, sales of this concern is 14 lakh, which is taken as 100. So we have raw material, we have direct wages, we have factory expenses, we have cost of goods sold. So all figures will be compared with the sale figure. For example, raw material is for 5,40,000 and sale is 14 lakh. So it means it is 38.6% of the sales. Similarly, direct wages are 2,30,000. It is 16.4% of the sale. Factory expenses, they are all computed in terms of the sales. So in this way, this we will find out the profit after taxes. So common size statement is also a vertical statement in which sale is taken as base, and all figures relating to income statement are expressed in terms of the sale. So percentage as calculated. So a user of the accounting information may know that how much percentage of sale is how much raw material is percentage of sale, how much direct expenses are percentage of sale. So if they want to take any decision regarding the profitability or income of the concern, or regarding the efficiency of the firm, they may take. So this is one thing. Secondly, we have the common size balance sheet also. As I have already told you, all the figures relating to the common size statement uh, uh, balance sheet, they are all expressed in terms of the total assets. For example, here, if the total assets are 9,40,000, that figure is taken as 100. So all figures will be expressed in terms of 9,40,000. First, we have the fixed assets. For example, land is there, 50,000. In terms of 9,40,000, 50,000 divided by 9,40,000. So their percentage is calculated as 5.3%. Similarly, building, plant and machinery, current assets, including raw material, inventory, work in progress, all are calculated in terms of that. So similarly, capital and liabilities, current liabilities, all figures are expressed in terms of that. So in this way, this common size statement, either in the form of income statement and balance sheets, are prepared to arrive at certain conclusions. So this is one thing which we need to understand. So similarly, after common size statement and comparative income statement, you have certain another tools also which are expressed in the form of the trend analysis. Third kind of category of analysis which we usually made is the uh, trend analysis. So basically, trend analysis is the trend ratio of different items are calculated for various period for comparison purpose. For example, you have current ratio. In the ratio analysis, we will be discussing it in detail. So if you have a current ratio from the last 10 year, current ratio will be calculated. So their trend graph will be arrived at, and we will see whether the current ratio is improving or current ratio is deteriorating. So trend ratios are the index numbers of the movement of reported financial items in the financial statement, which are calculated for more than financial years. So the calculation of the trend ratios are based on statistical technique called index numbers. So the trend ratio help in making the horizontal analysis of the comparative financial statement. So because it compares the different year figures, so it reflects the behavior of items over a period of time. So the methodology which we used in the trend ratios include number one, the accounting policies and principles should be consistently followed. This is one thing. Secondly, trend ratio should be calculated only for the items which has a logical relationship. The item which do not have a logical relationship, such kind of ratios should not be calculated. And trend analysis should be made at least for 4 consecutive years. It is not there you conduct it only for 2 years. So minimum 4 years are calculated. So the financial statement, one financial year should be taken as a base. For example, we are comparing the figures of 5 years. So naturally 1 year will be taken as a base, and financial items of it should be assigned as a value as 100, and all the figures, percentage ratios of the other year should be prepare according to that. So the trend ratio of the subsequent year will be, you can note down this formula. I'm just sharing with you again for analysis purpose. So let's note down this formula so that it can be helpful to you. So this formula is used for calculating the trend ratio of the subsequent year financial statements. That is, here absolute figure of the financial statement under study. For example, we are studying the financial statements of the 1980, and we are comparing it with the previous year figure 79, 78, 76, 75, 74. So absolute figure of the financial statement under study divided by absolute figures of same item in the base financial year will be divided, and it will be multiplied by the 100. So in this way, we will be using this formula for finding out the trend of the various items. So trend percentages are calculated, but there are certain limitations regarding it, that the trend ratios are incomparable if there is an inconsistency in the accounting policies and practices. Price level changes may have affected the trend ratios. The trend ratio must be studied along with the absolute data for correct analysis. So these are the basic limitations which may arise. So let me share with you again to arrive at the trend. Let's discuss and share again screen with you to arrive at a particular conclusion with some data. So this illustration is before you. We have been given data for 2013, 2014 and 2015. So here 2013 has been taken as a base. Trend percentage base is 2013. So we have certain figures, for example, figures relating to sales, figures relating to purchase, figures relating to expenses, and figures relating to profits are given. So 2013 has been taken as a base. So 40,000 is a figure for 2013. For 60,000 is a figure for 2014, and 72,000 is a figure for 2015. So we can take, for example, 2013 will be taken as a base as 100, and for example the figure is 60,000 in 2014. So we'll arrive at 60,000 divided by 40,000 multiplied by 100, that will become 150. So similarly for 2015, 2,000 divided by 40,000 multiplied by 100 will become 180%. So in this way, the trend of expenses, trend of profit, trend of sale is calculated. So in this way, we make a trend analysis. So I have told you that there are various kind of limitations of it, because sometimes the figures are not comparable, sometimes price level changes are there which may not be comparable. So all these things may create bottlenecks for any kind of analysis which is based on the financial statements. So today I will be just limiting here also, because for another tools, for example, we have a ratio analysis, we have a statement of cash flows. So for that purpose, we will be discussing in detail in the separate lectures. So today lecture is just focused on three things. One, the meaning of the financial statement analysis, objectives of the financial statement analysis, discussing the various tools of the financial statement analysis, and important three things has been discussed. One is comparative statement, common size statement, and trend analysis. So that is the subject matter of today. Now I request to all of you to on your videos for some discussion on this topic. On your videos. Still the many people has not on their videos. So first I will move to ask my queries from you. I will be moving to Gitanjali 5909. Still many people has not on their videos. So I request you to all of you to on your videos. So Gitanjali, my question to you, have you listened the lecture which I have sent to you yesterday regarding the preparation of the financial statements?
Yes, sir.
Yes, your voice is not clear. Speak again. Yes, Gitanjali.
Financial statement analysis is a necessary for
मैं सिर्फ
internal
question
users
लिखा,
and
have you listened that lecture complete? It is
yes,
my
sir,
humble
yes,
request
sir.
to all of you that you should listen the complete lecture in one go. And second thing which all of you have to do, after listening the lecture, 5 takeaways you have to identify. That what 5 points, major 5 points you have gained from the earlier discussion in the previous year. So those major 5 points you have to write in the comment box of the YouTube channel. Open that video. In the and it is a comment box. Write your name and roll number. After that, 5 key takeaways. In every key takeaway should be in one line only. So write that key takeaways in that also. So I will be assuring by doing that you are attending the YouTube lecture also. So it is for your benefit. So I'm not going to say that this is not my personal benefit. It is the benefit to all of you. So if we are doing something for all of you, you must also listen properly all these things. So this is the basic purpose of the hybrid system of teaching, the methodology which we are adopting for all of you. So now, again, if you have some queries, you may WhatsApp me regarding the today's topic. So tomorrow's and day after tomorrow's lecture will be focused on the statement of the cash flows. After that, we'll be moving on ratio analysis that we'll be discussing in the future. So now it's all for you today because other class has joined. So all the MCOM business innovation students, they are advised to follow the guidelines. Those who has not submitted or has some excuses or one another excuses regarding the submission of the assignment, they must submit their assignment till 5 p.m. today. After that, I will not be accepting. So I'm not going to tell anybody that you have not submitted it because you know, so it will be properly given a record and it will affect your prospects in the future. So that's what I want to say to all of you. So now those students who has joined as MCOM Business Innovation students may leave this lecture so that we can allow the other people to join. Thank you. Thank you very much.